Okay, hey there. So I'm going to be doing the same lesson that I was doing from my original video in Demo 1. It's for 3rd grade, subject's math. I did title it as Value Riddles. We will be going over different riddles and different combinations of values that could be the riddle. So anyways, the core standard that we're working with is for, again, 3rd grade, but solve problems and make change involving money using a combination of coins and bills. By the end of the lesson, the students will be able to create their own change riddles based on the guided practice that I'll be showing you. Students will be able to break down and make change involving both bills and coins by creating these riddles for their own chosen amount, value, with at least 95% accuracy. Students will then partner up with their appointment buddies and solve their partner's riddle at the very end. So the unit description is students will be able to identify and compare, make changes and solve problems, including both coins and bills. Students learn how to identify coins and bills and how much each coin and bill is worth. So in my lessons that I've done in the past, I always like to have the students do the I can statement. My I can statements are typically the objective. I want the students to know exactly what they're learning and why they're learning it, and I want to hear it from them. So we do go over all of that information in the beginning. Also in the anticipatory set, I do go over, we review the concepts of money by going over coins and bills and their worth, we're breaking up the students into groups. In a perfect world, I would already have them in little quads, but for this activity, I would actually specifically like them to be counting off by 4s to be able to rotate the groups. Just with the information that we have learned about movement, I think that it's critical, and this is a part in my lesson that I can add movement and kind of separation to the lesson. And separation as in like breaking them up from their norm. Clarify, sorry. So in this, their groups, they're going to be going over the characteristics of coins. So each group will be given a different coin, like 25 cents, a penny, a dollar, a $50. For example, if they were to get the 25 cents, they would break that into the characteristics. Well, it's a quarter of a dollar. 4 of them make $1 bill, or one whole dollar. A quarter could be broken up into 25 pennies, or 5 nickels, or 2 dimes and 1 nickel, or 1 quarter. So things like that, we're really, I want the students to be focused on breaking the characteristics down of the individual coin. And then they will be presenting them, one representative from each group would be posting them onto the whiteboard and going over it with the whole class. So that's kind of the review. For the I would be breaking down, I would be introducing the riddles to the class and the idea of the riddle. I would be walking through how to solve one of the riddles completely on my own with the students. And I would be having the students write down pretty much everything that I'm putting on the board. Just so that they have it for reference. Obviously it would stay on the board. My board's really small though. So anyways, the point of this though is to show students that to show students that there are different combinations of coins and different combinations that equal different values that could be under this riddle. The point of this activity is for them to stretch their thinking and to really break down the review that we just did with, well, what coins could it be? Or it has to be this value, or it has to be this type of value, or under these, requirements for the riddle. So it's kind of abstract, but I still feel like they're definitely getting the point. I feel like the student is still grasping how to break down money, how to break down coins, how to break down dollar bills, the ways that you can combine them to make a certain value. So for the, that was, the I would be doing all of the first riddle. It'd be left on the board for them to refer back to. Again, we're stretching the students' thinking. We're making them think of all the different combinations we could do. For the we do, which is the part that I will be doing with you in this video, students should have their number already, or their paper already pre-numbered 1 through 4, with spaces in between. I will be going over number 1. We're going to be doing a riddle together. I will be posting one way to do that riddle. After that, they are supposed to solve, they're supposed to go into their groups and they're supposed to solve the rest of the riddle together. Okay? And then they're supposed to think of 3 other ways, 2, 3, and 4, 3 other ways of what that value could be, or what other combinations you could use to still match the riddle. Okay? Everybody clear? Good. Awesome. Give me a thumbs up if you are. No, I'm kidding. So anyways, okay, we'll go back to the we do, but I did want to at least wrap up the rest of the lesson for the you do is that students would then make up their own riddle. After we've already gone through one riddle solo, we've gone through one together, they've worked within their groups, they've shared it with their partner, now they are to make their own riddle. They're supposed to get a value and do their own riddle. With that, they'll then share up with partner up with their 9 a.m. appointment buddy and try and solve the other person's riddle as the independent practice, but also partnered. For formative assessment, it's the 9 a.m. appointment buddy, and then trying to solve their own riddle, the I can statement. But for the summative assessment, I did add this into my lesson this time. For the following days, I will be requiring the students to break down a value independently, doing the exact same activity that we're doing today, where I'll give them a value and I want them to break it down into different quantities and different values or amounts. That it could be, $2.26 could be $1.13 plus $1.13, or it could be, $1.75, and please don't make me do the rest of this math. So anyways, we're going to go back to the you do now. Okay, so this is the we do portion. Alright students, so I want you to take out a clean piece of paper. I need you to go ahead and number that paper 1 through 4. Now we're going to be spacing out our numbers a little bit so that we have room to write. So I don't want 1, 2, 3. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, very spaced out. 2, and then 3 would be down here, and so on. So under number 1, as we just demonstrated, me breaking down a riddle for you and all the possible ways that we could have had different values that equaled that riddle. So there's multiple answers here, and we're not looking for just one answer. We're looking for ways to break down this value. So, and on your paper 1 through 4, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through number 1. All right, we're going to find one of these riddles, or one of these values for this riddle together. And then I want you to go ahead and in your groups, I want you to continue the process, and I want you to find 3 other ways. So 2, 3, and 4. 3 other ways or 3 other values that this riddle could represent. Okay? So we already know, sorry, they already know, I already know, you don't. We already know that the riddle goes as my value is less than $3. So less than 3. I have 3/4 within my change. So 3/4 within change, plus 4 pennies too. So plus 4 pennies. And it says my largest amount is a whole dollar bill. So we know that the biggest dollar bill that they have is 1. Okay. So with this information, so we have, it's going to be less than $3. So that means that it could be $2 and anything else, because anything less than 3. So $2 and some change. But then our next point, or our next requirement, says that we have 3/4 within our change. So we're going to go ahead and over here, we're going to draw our arrow, and we're going to add, class, how much is 1/4 worth? Go ahead and whisper it. Think in your head and then whisper it to your shoulder buddy. What is 1/4 worth? We just did all of this review with our posters. Class, as a whole, tell me how much 3/4 or 1/4 is worth. 25 cents, exactly. So if we know that 1/4 equals 25 cents plus 1 other quarter, because we have a total of 3, is another 25 cents, and another quarter equals 25 cents, So if we have all of this, let's do this together. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 5 is 15. Carry that 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus our carried over 1 is going to be 7. So we know that 3/4 equals 75 cents. So we can go ahead and we can add that to our 3/4 within our change. Is 75 cents. But our next point says plus 4 pennies too. Class, how much is 1 penny worth? 1. Good job. So 4 pennies is going to be 4 cents. 4 cents. And then the last one here says I have 1 whole dollar. So 1 whole dollar. 1. So let's go ahead and add this up. 5 plus 4 is 9. Carry down the 7 and our 1. So one possible solution or one possible value for this riddle could be $1.79. Is $1.79 less than $3? Yep, sure is. Is $1.79 have 3/4 within its change? Sure does. Does it have 4 pennies too? Absolutely. And does it have $1 as its largest amount? Sure does. Absolutely. So this is one possible way. So boys and girls, I would like you to write this down for your number 1. Okay, this is going to go into your number 1. All right? And this is one possible way, but we already demonstrated and just before about how we could always add 20 cents. The riddle doesn't say anything about any dimes or nickels, but it doesn't say anything about not adding them. So if we can add a nickel or add a dime, if your riddle requirements still hold true, your value would be correct. So I want you to go ahead and get into your groups. I want you to do the rest of them. I want you to do number 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. Thanks, guys.